David A. Sousa, author of the book How the Brain Learns, states that there are three neural systems involved in reading. The visual processing system scans the printed word, the auditory processing system sounds it out in the head, and the frontal lobe integrates the information to produce meaning. He goes on to also state that the skills involved in reading involve phonological and phonemic awareness, alphabetic principle and phonics, vocabulary, fluency, and text comprehension. These elements and skills will be later addressed and how they correspond with the reading program I will be discussing, which is used in my school and in my classroom, called the Daily Five. The skills of the Daily Five are outlined in the book titled The Daily Five by Gail Bushey and Joan Moser, first published in 2006 by Stenhouse Publishers. The Daily Five is a literacy structure that allows for differentiation in the classroom and provides consistency. It is also an integrated literacy instruction and classroom management system for use in reading and writing workshops. It is also a system of 5 literacy tasks that teaches students independence. The 5 specific tasks tied to the Daily Five, which are used daily in the classroom, are read to self, read to someone, work on writing, listen to reading, and word work. The first component of the Daily Five is read to self. During a read to self session, students should be reading the entire time, stay in one place, read quietly, and work on stamina, or the amount of time that they can read independently. The second is read to someone. Read to someone helps students read independently and grow as readers. It also increases volume of reading, the level of attention to reading motivation, fluency, reading rate, word attack skills, and just a basic love of reading. The third component is listening to reading. During the session, students listen to books and develop language fluency. Students should get out their materials, listen to the entire story, follow along with pictures and the words, stay in one spot, listen quietly, and put materials away when they are done. The fourth component is work on writing, which I am going to skip over since our focus is on reading. And the last component is word work. During this time, students focus on spelling and vocabulary words during this time, and working on words is critical to the development of readers. During this time, students will experiment with words for learning and practice spelling patterns. They will memorize high-frequency words. They can learn to generalize spelling patterns and also add to the knowledge and curiosity of unique and interesting words. I would now like to refer back to the specific skills that David A. Sousa outlines as necessities to developing as a reader. All of the skills outlined directly correlate to the different elements of the Daily Five. It also states that in order for this complex integration of neural systems to result in successful reading, an individual must develop specific skills and possess certain information. Specifically, phonological and phonemic awareness and alphabetic principle and phonics. Phonological and phonemic awareness is the recognition that oral language can be divided into smaller components such as sentences into words, words into syllables, and ultimately syllables into individual sounds. The alphabetic principle describes the understanding that spoken words are made up of phonemes and that phonemes are represented in written text and letters. Referring back to the Daily Five, both of these skills are practiced in word work, which utilizes the frontal lobe and the visual processing system of the brain. Enhancement of vocabulary is another skill that is outlined. Readers must usually possess a word in their mental dictionary in order to recognize it in print. Children learn the meanings of most words indirectly through everyday experiences with oral and written language. The enhancement of vocabulary is practiced in every element of the Daily Five, but specifically also in word work. Another skill that is outlined is fluency. Fluency is the ability to read a text orally with speed, accuracy, and proper expression. Fluency is practiced in every element of the Daily Five, specifically more so in read to self, read to someone, and listening to reading. Listening to reading can help build fluency by showing students modeling of proper fluency. And finally, text comprehension is the ultimate and final goal of learning to read and is a culmination of all of the practices of the daily five.